We were approaching Airlie Beach and we couldn't have been more excited. The Whitsundays offer excellent cruising for boat owners and charters alike, and we were chomping at the bit to get amongst it.
I've just been given this book by another boat in the anchorage. It's 100 Magic Miles of the Great Barrier Reef. One of the parts is the best snorkeling and diving in the Whitsundays, and it gives you a brief description of each site, including visibility and depth and what to expect when you go diving. It's pretty cool actually.
So my magic kettle, I am now going to say blue.
That'll do.
Wow.
Now get some green. It's blue, sucker.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
Is it your intention to sink the boat from the inside out?
No, I'm trying to make sure I've got no air leaks in the AC pump line. I'll show you. Yeah, it's trying to clear the blockage, the air blockages in the system. But I now have to just double check from above that the water's actually going through.
This is all in aid of getting some heating going.
That's right, because we're in Australia and it's freezing cold.
The worst thing is that we're in a hot area of Australia, normally a warm area of Australia, and we're in the Whitsundays.
And it's freezing.
So we're going to pick up this anchor and follow all these charter boats that are heading out into the Whitsundays. This is our first stunning day. So many boats here. This is super exciting because this is like what we've been waiting for, is to get out into the Whitsundays. Dave's waiting for me because there's no anchor down right now and I'm not driving. Whoops.
Each year, humpback whales migrate north from cooler Antarctic waters to the warmer Queensland coast to give birth to their young. It was pretty exciting to see them this close.
Just drying out the sail. It's been pouring over the last few days. But look at us, we've all emerged, haven't we? Yes. Lady Mary.
There it is.
Wow. Oh, was that the little one? It's like the little one does about 3 or 4 breaths to the big one's 1.
First, we anchored in Tongue Bay with Kiwi friends on Argo to take in the spectacular view of Hill Inlet, before moving to famous Whitehaven Beach with the families on Argo and Katnavana.
Along this beach you can see still a little bit of the damage left over from Cyclone Debbie in 2017, so that's like 5 years ago now of recovery. Such devastation that happened to the reef as well, which is quite sad. But now there's some sculptures that have been sunk in the Whitsundays to encourage people to come out and holiday here and snorkel, because some of the coral's been damaged. So now they have these sculptures that people can go and locate and dive on, which is kind of fun. So we've just had an awesome afternoon on the beach. It's been great with Katnavana and Argo. And now they're going to come in alongside us. We're going to raft up for an evening of birthday celebrations. So I think we've got Katnavana coming first. They're just lifting their anchor and they're going to come along our port side. And yeah, well, hopefully we don't damage anybody's boats, but it should be a lot of fun.
bracelet.
This is
Everyone
Mum's
has that.
birthday cake.
One thing Dave and I decided to do when we arrived in Australia was to go and have our girls checked out with an orthodontist and see whether they were going to need any kind of orthodontic work. And what we have decided to do is to start clear aligners with them. And the company we're using is Invisalign. And they have basically taken 3D pictures of the girls' teeth, sent it away to, I think the company is either in the States or Mexico, I'm not 100% sure. But they've sent back, I guess, the start pack of their clear aligners, which are kind of like a mouth guard, but very clear, and they just attach a few attachments to the kids' teeth. And it's not to all of them, but just to some of them that they want to grab and start moving around slightly. So they don't have a lot of work to do, but it's quite a difficult thing to try and do when you're living on a boat and cruising from country to country. It's difficult to try and get back to the start place to have the teeth checked and decide what the best orthodontic process is going to be. So this is what we've chosen to do, and it does mean we are going to have to commit to going back to Southport on the east coast of Australia a number of times throughout the next couple of years. But the girls did decide they didn't want to do it when they go to boarding school, which would have been much easier, but they just want all of their orthodontic work done before they arrive at high school. So, I mean, fair enough. So that's what we've committed to. So Priya's here with her clear aligners. How long have you worn the first ones for, darling?
I wore these ones for 2 weeks, and then I have to wear these ones for 2 weeks, and every 2 weeks I change them, and then hopefully in a year and a half I don't have to change them anymore.
I just think it's really clever that they give us like months worth of adjustments in the form of new clear aligners.
Yeah, they're like retainers sort of. So this is the top one.
Yeah, and they move your teeth like 1/4 of a mil each clear aligner, don't they? Every time you change, they're getting another 1/4 of a mil change.
Yeah, so it's pretty small, but it still changes them just over a long amount of time.
With Cat Nirvana, we sailed in brisk winds north to Bait Reef, where we found whales to keep us company. Under the water, we could see devastating cyclone damage, but could hear the humpbacks sing. Yesterday we headed out to Bait Reef and the Great Barrier Reef, which we were pretty excited to finally be able to do. And the weather wasn't amazing, but it got us out there at a pretty good speed, and we picked up a public mooring. But on the way out there, we had to divert course and drop some sails and slow down so that we wouldn't hit some whales that were leaping out of the water in front of us and splashing about and flapping their flippers, and it was pretty exciting to see. But while we were at Bait Reef, we managed to do a couple of dives.
Pretty boring, but we got to hear the whale noises.
Now we're at Hayman Island, again on a public mooring, which is amazing that they do that these are available for us. But it is a first in, first served basis. And we're just going to go and have a look to see if we can find a walk to do up on this island. And then we're going to start looking for these sculptures that have been put into the water here in the Whitsundays. Apparently we're right next to a Maori wrasse, so we're going to go looking for that later on today. Just coming into Hayman Island, we just had to pick our way in to see if we can find a safe path. And just noticing all the cyclone damage to all the trees on this end of the island. Gosh, it takes such a long time to recover. Hopefully it's a long time before they get hit by a cyclone again.
Yeah.
couple of days ago, Lyndon of Catavana challenged me to who can make the fastest boat. So me and Dad are now making blueprints for the fastest boat ever.
With just bits and bobs you've already got on the boat, you have to try and make it with what you've got?
Yeah. He did give us some pieces of his own, but we couldn't get them to work, so we're improvising.
After locating the Maori wrasse and manta ray sculptures around Hayman and Hook Islands, Cat Nirvana and their guests, as well as Brave, picked up moorings in Hook Passage.
Just tried to go to the beach, but we got told a helicopter was coming in shortly, so we got out of the way. And I think they might be here for those boys. Stinging trees. Goodness, we don't want to touch one of those.
So we've come into Nara Inlet and we're going to see some Aboriginal paintings.
Cool, and we're going to just follow this wee path up through the rocks. Go see what you can find, people.
In Nara people adapted superbly to an island and seafaring lifestyle.
Nara means to me that we are saltwater people. We are Aboriginal people. We lived off the land. We lived off the sea, and in particular the sea. My grandfather was a seafaring man. It's in everybody's blood to go out and fish and hunt and gather off the sea.
Look carefully at the different art motifs. Today we can only speculate what may have been happening here to inspire Ngaro people to paint these. Do the motifs remind you of anything?
Join us next time as we explore more of the Whitsunday Islands.